It is day 6 on my 196 day epic journey doing the one-to-one diet. If you're wondering why this is starting on day 6, it's because I've been on it 6 days. Before I thought, hang on, I'm missing an opportunity here to show others how to do this. And today so far has been a bastard. But what I do know is that day 5 and 6 in the past for me has been the most difficult. Not that I've done it many times, I've only done it a couple of times, but I do remember day 5 and 6 because I was told that day 3 and 4 are the real struggles, and not the case for me. I also know that I've had a lot of stress today and a lot of stuff that is beyond my control. And control is an interesting word to use because I think we control a lot of emotions and stuff with food. The reason for that is because it gives us a hit of dopamine, which we crave in times of stress. So is it the food that makes us stress, or do we stress and then turn to the food? Well, I think it is that we turn to food. Some people don't learn it's food, some people learn that it's drugs, some people learn that it's drink, some people learn that it's sex, some people whatever. But as foodies, we learn from a young age that it's food, and food gives us that hit of dopamine. So when we're feeling stressed about something, we turn to food instead of asking for a cuddle, asking for advice, or we might be running away from what the real problem is. So we hide it by going, it's food, it's because I want food. And it's not, it is the thing that gives us that hit. And it's an interesting battle in our heads, because when does food actually make us feel better? Because I said it gives us a hit of dopamine, but as you all know, when you're eating the food, you feel shit because you think, actually, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm a fat fucker, I need a diet. And then afterwards we feel guilty. So when is it? And there is a time, and I believe it's when we give ourselves permission to have it. We release all these chemicals in our brains going, oh, which one we're gonna have? You know, which bar of chocolate we're gonna have, which pizza, which whatever the fuck it might be. And we create all these feelings in our brain. So at that point, and I did this when I did my journey the first time, I can remember I was about 4 months in and I'd had a particularly bad day, which was nothing to do with food. I wasn't hungry because I've been on plan for 4 months. I dropped a load of weight and was feeling amazing, looking pretty good. And I was like, oh, this fucking Kentucky's going around in my head. And I actually went, and there's a Southern Fried Chicken place in Burnham, and I went in, bought the chicken, all the way down, saying, oh, should be doing this, but I was releasing all these chemicals going out, no, I'm doing it, bollocks to it. And I was releasing all these chemicals in my brain about it. And I got the chicken, and I thought, it went bing. I already feel better. So what I did was I went out the front door, fucking booted the chicken across the road. But I felt amazing because I'd given myself permission to have it. And I'd already released all those dopamine and endorphins and all that shit. So, job done. But what it did was make me realise that food isn't the problem for us. It's the solution to the problem. And we spend so much of our time going, I can't have it, I can't have it. Our brains aren't wired like that. They're wired to help us. So it's no, there's a solution to the problem. And you're going, food's the problem. No, it's not. It's the solution to the problem, which means that when we deny ourselves the solution to the problem, our brain goes, kick back, fucking sort your life out, son. I'm doing it anyway. That's when you find yourself knee deep in fucking chips. So we have to acknowledge what the problem is, or at least go and find out what the real problem is. It's like, I've had some fucking bad news today, and I need to be able to move forward. And I have this thing where I have, now what I do is I go inside my head and I go and I ask the question, what is it, love, and how can I help? And the reason I say those words is because I have 2 voices, okay? 2 voices that I use in my head. And one is my granddad, who's no longer with me, sadly, but he was my superhero. He told me I could do anything with my brain. I just need to tune into the right place. And his voice always goes, what is it, love? What's the problem? And then I have a chat. And it soothes me. It soothes me in the same way curry does. More so, it's the truth. And I can talk to him about anything. The other voice I have in my head is Lawrence's, who was my VLCD coach. Go and look up dual dynamics and Lawrence Brain. If you've never come across him, the man was a legend, absolute legend. Again, sadly, someone who's no longer with me, but his voice is going off in my head all the time. He says, "What is it, superstar? What are we going to overcome today?" I use that and I go in and I think, oh, it's that. And then I talk through in my head what I'm going to do about it. And I deal with the problem. And then I've given myself a solution. So first of all, recognize what the actual problem is, the real problem. Don't try and get rid of your solution because your brain won't like it. And be kind to you. Day 6, been an interesting day because I've had the most amazing news at the most amazing point in my life. But then I've had some stuff that's very difficult and challenging today. And I've got my little boy this weekend, and that's always difficult. I'm about to cook him his tea, which is why I'm stood in the kitchen. And he eats, he likes food, but he runs around and hasn't got a weight issue. But he also doesn't understand why I'm not eating. So it's a challenge to have him while I'm doing this. And I'm on day 6, which is a bastard for me anyway. But I'm 2 products down. It is about 6:10, and I'm going to sit and have a soup while he eats his food. I will be putting up videos from day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I've done because I'm running a 6-week challenge for people on Facebook. At the end of that, I'll be running another 6 weeks challenge. So if you're interested, drop me a line and we'll get you involved. But it was during this process, I was like, hang on a minute. I thought I could do this on YouTube and I could do this on TikTok, and maybe it'll help a few people at the same time as me proving that my techniques and theories work. So I thought, fuck it. And that's what I've done. I set up a YouTube channel. It's a brand new YouTube channel, so please subscribe and watch me over the next 196 days. 190 days now, and tomorrow will be 189. So I'm on my way. I've eaten today. What did I have? Part of my 6-week challenge I'm doing with people is doing the first 2 weeks liquid only. So I've had a strawberry shake this morning, and I had a chocolate tetra for lunch. I'm going to have a oriental chili soup now, and then I feel like I'll probably have another shake, or I might have one of them apple things. What are you called? Apple and kiwi. But this is me. I'm on day 6. I'm drinking water like a bastard, pissing like a racehorse, but I'm having a very challenging yet thought-provoking experience here on day 6. If you're doing this alongside watching me do this, fantastic. What I'm going to be doing over the next 190 days is reviewing products. I'm going to be talking about how I make the products. I'm going to be talking about a lot of mind stuff that come to me during my time, and a lot of challenges that happen to my clients, and a lot of things that happened to me during my first time of doing this, where I dropped 11 stone 4 in 5.5 months and 1 slimmer a year in 2012. That's what I think about it, because this is another thing that I get people to do in the first week, is get out and get yourself a journal. So I started my journey on the 6th of June 2012, and what I did was on the 5th of June got a journal, and I knew I had loads of events coming up between then and December the 24th. So I wrote down all my reasons for why I wasn't going to fuck it up between the 6th of June to the 24th of December, and all my excuses for people, all of those things that sort of like can trip you up. And I write in my journal about how I was going to successfully get through those times. So I had my mum's 60th birthday, for example, and you know, that was a biggie for me. You know, that's never coming around again. So I wrote in there about how I wanted to involve my mum. So I went to her and said, look, I'm not going to be eating at your party, and she had 3 parties, bless her. But people are going to get at me, and I really want to do this, so can you help? And she was like, yes. And she took it upon herself, and she said it was the best birthday present I ever gave her. But when people came up and started trying to give me booze, she was the first one in there going, wait, pack it in. I knew I'd feel pretty good and a bit cocky. So did a video of me feeling not so good on the 5th of June talking to a slimmer, more cocky version of myself, saying, don't fuck this up. We feel like shit right now. And if you go to this party and think you can just have a drink and a one night off it, you can't. You'll end up back here and I will kick your ass. And then in my journal, because this was really important, in my journal, what I did was on the data entry on the 2nd of August, which was 4 days before my mum's birthday, it said, go and watch a video. I remember doing the video, but I couldn't remember exactly what was in it. And watching that video back for me was unbelievable. It gave me the courage and the strength to, and the fear to not go to that party and think that I could just get away with having a beer, because I wouldn't have been able to. Not at that point. I wouldn't have been able to do it. So get your ducks in a row. Make sure that you've got every reason why you want to be successful at this, and what you need to do in your journals is read over all the reasons and make it muscle memory. I remember when I was doing Weight Watchers years ago that I used to think, when I walked into a pub, because you're allowed Diet Coke, I think when they say, what do you want to drink? Say Diet Coke. So I'll be going around it. And then when I got to the bar, everybody knows me in Burnham. So when I got to the barmaid or the barman knew me. And they were like, do you want a pint of Thatcher's, Mitch? Now that's a different question. I was like, and next thing I know, I'm knee deep in fucking Thatcher's. And it was like, how did I get here? And it's because they asked me a different question. I was like, I wasn't ready for that question. I was ready for what do you want? And I know what I want a Diet Coke. But they asked me, do I want a Thatcher's, Mitch? And if you think that that doesn't happen to you, I'm telling you now it does. So get your story straight in your head, so that, and have it well rehearsed so it's muscle memory, so that you don't get tripped up, and you manifest you being successful and successfully getting away from that event still at 100%. Best story I've got for the manifestation of something and visualization and how it works. There was a guy called Jack Nicklaus who was a golfer, and it was, I'm not into golf, but he was brilliant and won everything. And what I found out he used to do was he would go to the course the day before he was about to play it, and he would walk the whole course without his clubs, but he would visualize playing every shot. So he'd play the perfect tee shot, he'd play the perfect way of getting out of that bunker. He would have every stroke nailed down in his head on every hole. And then the next day when he did it, it was just muscle memory. He knew exactly how to play the shots, and it works. It absolutely works. You can manifest all the things you desire in here and make it that it's already happened. I did it with my mate who used to run a basketball team in Burnham that were crap. He used to say to me, can you come and give us a hand, because I think it's in here. I go, I think you're probably right. So I went, and they just couldn't score. So I said to him, look, what I'll do, I'll take 3 sets of you, 3 groups of you, and the first lot I want you to do 100 shots every morning for the next 2 weeks. Next lot, just have 2 weeks off. And the third lot, I want you to do 100 shots every morning, but in your head without the ball. Came back in 2 weeks time, guess who got the most? It certainly wasn't the ones who took 2 weeks off, but it wasn't the ones who shot with the baskets with the ball either. It was the ones who visualized it. And why is that? Because they never missed. In their head, they didn't play a bad shot, did they? They played the perfect shots every time. So when it came to it, they knew how to, where their hand needed to be on that ball. They knew how much velocity they needed, everything else. And it really works. And you can do this by putting it in your journal, creating a storyboard alongside your journal of this patchwork version of who you want to be and who you are. And then manifest it every day, learn it. Get your reasons for why you want to stay on it, and it will happen. Trust me, this works. Basics. I'm drinking water like a bastard, pissing like a racehorse, but I'm having a very challenging yet thought-provoking experience here on day 6. If you're doing this alongside watching me do this, fantastic. What I'm going to be doing over the next 190 days is reviewing products. I'm going to be talking about how I make the products, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of mind stuff that come to me during my time, and a lot of challenges that happen to my clients, and a lot of things that happened to me during my first time of doing this, where I dropped 11 stone 4 in 5.5 months and 1 slimmer a year in 2012. 4 products for me as a man of 5'7" and a big fat fuck. I drink 4 litres of water. I've got one of these, my other half bought me, which is 2 litres, and I do 2 of them a day. If you struggle with the water, Lawrence used to have this great way of dealing with the water issue. He used to say get 8 half-litre bottles of water, and he would drink 8 half-litres bottles of water over the whole day, which was, he'd have the first one at 7 when he woke up in the morning, to have it by the side of his bed. So put it by the side of your bed ready for tomorrow morning, and he wouldn't bang it, because he said he'd wake up and his tongue felt like it had been dragged along the motorway. So bang, half-litre gone at 7 o'clock. Then he'd have another one at 9 o'clock, another one at 11 o'clock. And that's usually when I'd have my first product at 11 o'clock. So I have my products with water as well. Whilst I'm having my products, that fills me right up. So that's at 11 o'clock. Then I have another one at 1 o'clock, and then another one at 3 o'clock, and then another one at 5 o'clock. There's a pattern there, right? Then another one at 7 o'clock. And then the last one about 9 o'clock before I go to bed. And it's easy. Anyone can bang half a litre down at Gregory. So that's an important thing to do. Day 6. It is 9:30. Today's been a challenge for lots of reasons that were nothing to do with food and nothing to do with the plan. But what I did was highlight to me how we use food to make ourselves feel better. But I am going to bed in a minute because I'm knackered, and I didn't sleep much last night because my little boy was restless and didn't sleep much. I'm ready for bed and ready for the morning. Tomorrow's going to be testing because my family are all going out for a meal and I'm taking my little boy. So I'll be sitting there drinking water and coffee and wanting to punch someone. But today has been testing. So day 6, fuck off and do one.